Welcome back to the show, as it is still at the point of recording, the Melbourne International Comedy Festival is still in full swing, and I have still seen quite a few shows that I haven't talked about. Now, the one I'm going to be talking about right now is Jon Walpole's latest solo show, one named Butterfly. Now, lepidopterology. Now, besides lepidopterology being an overly fancy Scrabble word with 7 syllables, it's also the study of butterflies. Now, as a caterpillar feeds and grows, it will inevitably form a cocoon, which will allow it to grow into a beautiful butterfly. Now, with more knowledge and it'll be more gorgeous than all the other mere underdeveloped caterpillars. Now, you may be asking, what the hell has this got to do with a comedy show? Well, Jon Walpole has reached the dizzying heights of personal development where he knows everything. And like a butterfly, he has sprouted his own wings and he is gracefully flying above the rest of us. And he is now on a quest to find a truly meaningful art piece, whatever that means. Now, we'll be along for the ride, and if we are really lucky, we will be turned from caterpillars to butterflies in the process. Now, Jon Walpole is one of the funniest stand up comedians that I've had the pleasure of experiencing on stage multiple times. With solo shows, his sketch group Bombastic Joe, which I talked about recently. That is a sketch group that is made up of Jon Walpole, Ollie Robinson, and Ed Rickards. And also his children's show John and Jero, with Jeremiah Detto, of course. Now, John, all across these different shows, has proven himself to be a versatile and hardworking and, most importantly, hilarious talent. He recently studied at the prestigious French clown school. I'm going to mess this up. The name of it, École Philippe Gaulier. But yeah, Jon Walpole, he's enhanced his abilities even further for 2024 thanks to this training. Now, the previous solo show of John's that I watched was last year's show, one man performing a two-man show. Now, framed as exactly what it says on the can, John started performing a two-person act completely stag. But the concept really just gave way to various really funny skits, including heaps of improv and crowd work. And by the end of the show, I think half of the audience had been called up onto the stage at some point. Now, Butterfly is similar in many ways to that show, although this time I think the night tied in much more to the central concept of an enlightened John returning from Europe and spreading knowledge as he spreads his wings. Now, as you enter the theater, an eagle-eyed viewer may spot John concealed in his larvae form. John makes his way to the stage, silently approving of the audience but disapproving of the speaker setup, and kind of like adjusting it for quite a few minutes at the beginning of the show. Nope, it's not quite perfect. Nope, it's not quite right. And then he starts getting the audience to adjust it as well. And really, the audience is already cackling themselves laughing before John's even said a single word. And that's something that I really like about Jon Walpole. His personality and his character come across as really likable, really affable, even when he's wearing these hipster glasses, a beret, and he's wrapped in a man-sized head-to-toe caterpillar costume. But it's not all creepy crawlies and butterflies, as John goes on to perform in his brilliant and eccentric way. He showed us how to behave like the coolest guy in the world. He also showed us the worst therapist in the world. Also, throughout the show, James McLennan, who is John's director for the show, and he's also his tech guy for the show. James joins in on the fun as well with with his mandated lunch breaks sporadically throughout the show, which I think is something that I seem to remember that from one man doing a two-man show. I think I remember James from that. I thought I recognized him when I was walking in, and yeah, I think that was in that, and yeah, James is quite funny in that show as well. But the real standout of Butterfly is the audience participation. Now, John Walpole's quick wit and his improvisational skills, they really mean that you never know what's going to happen next. The crowds very often brought in on the fun, and they are brought up on the stage, and sometimes even are put in their own costumes. But even when someone yells something out unexpectedly, John's able to just roll with it. And there's few shows that I think are as engaging for the audience as a John Walpole show. So uh, just to go through it's a silent opening punctuated by bouts of laughter from the crowd. There's stock music, which is created by a cannibal DJ, a performer who we need to beg multiple times to return to the stage, turtleneck necks. It's really just an insane show, and that's exactly what I like about Butterfly. And I think that John Walpole really proved himself again to be a standout of the Melbourne International Comedy Festival. He's definitely a comedian who's always bringing something new to the table, and really, I think you really do owe it to yourself to check him out. So, really, I'm going to give this show 5 out of 5. It's one of those shows. It's just it sets out to make you laugh, and it does exactly that. So definitely a 5 out of 5 show from me. John Walpole Butterfly. I believe it's currently playing at Tasma Terrace in East Melbourne. But for tickets, just visit the comedyfestival.com.au and yeah, check it out.